people. Que pasa, say what they do. Now, people, interestingly, I found a video that shows Jody and Farron, and we are speaking about the lady that passed away. We are talking about last week, Friday or Saturday morning, based on the fact that she went to several places. We are speaking about places of recovery, and she was denied services while she was delivering her child. So, people, take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece. Now, people, we see that based on the information from the forensic pathologist, we are speaking about the family doctor. He said that she basically passed away because of stress. We are speaking about because of a heart condition that is called cardiomyopathy or something like that. He said basically she was stressed out. He said she had a little hole in her heart. That is a condition, basically the layman's condition or the layman's term for the condition. The doctor also made it abundantly clear that she would have been okay had she not been under some extreme stressful condition. So, people, the point that he was trying to make is that she basically lost her life because of no reason, or because of no justified reason, because of negligence and carelessness on the part of the hospital, doctors, nurses, rete, lele, blue, blah, blank. Now this leads me to my next story, and people, I am speaking about a homeless man that was in front of KPH, and when we talk about KPH, I am speaking about Kingston Public Hospital, and he was basically lying there. We are speaking for in excess of 3 days, people. We are talking about 72 hours. And this man was basically on his DEATH bed. We are talking about a MAGA. We are speaking about it look like when you look at one of those infomercials. We are speaking about those persons in Ethiopia from back in the days where you see them MAGA. We are talking about them knee thicker than them leg and them foot rete, lele, blue, blah, bling. We are talking about a man that was out there under the elements, under the sunshine, under the rain. Me I talk about for 3 days. Me I talk about lips blistered up. Me I talk about malnourished. Me I talk about dehydrated. I am speaking about in a very bad condition, a very bad situation. Now, based on the information that is out there, it is said that it was the residents that basically covered him up, give him some water, give him little food, to make sure that he basically just hang on to life. Because, people, we see that he was hanging on for his dear life. We see that he was in very bad physical condition. He was dehydrated. Now remember, we are speaking about the Kingston Public Hospital. We are speaking about a public body that are supposed to be caring for the concerns and the health and well-being of its citizens or of the residents in the neighborhood. However, we see that they are very insensitive. We see that they are very cold and callous. We see that they have no sort of caring and compassion. We see that they are not the type of person that are supposed to or have the characteristics or the MOs of being persons that are caring and patient. Because, people, why would they overlook the fact that this man has been there for at least 3 days? Now, people, when we think about 3 days, we are speaking about 72 hours. We are speaking about at least 9 to 6 shifts. We are speaking about doctors. We are speaking about nurses. We are speaking about medical assistants that work at that place. We are speaking about hundreds of persons that are employed to that facility. So you are telling me that it did not dawn on nobody. We are talking about somebody in upper management. We are speaking about a regular employee. We are speaking about a janitor. That something is definitely wrong. Something is fundamentally wrong. It did not pull on anybody's heartstring that this man actually needed some sort of assistance. We are speaking about medical assistance very badly because he was basically holding on to a string and people. We are speaking about physically, like me tell you, say, the man knee bigger than him leg. Me I talk about he look very malnourished. We are speaking about blistered lips. We are speaking about sunburn. We are talking about wet up from the rain, rete, lele, blue, blah, bling. Now, what is so disturbing about this whole thing is that this man has been there in excess of 3 days, or at least 3 days and nobody did anything. I am speaking about none of the employees that are affiliated with the Kingston Public Hospital. Nobody reached out, nobody said anything. However, it took the assistance of the resident, and also as soon as TVJ, we are speaking about a media house, as soon as they intervened, that was the only time that this man got any sort of assistance. And people, within hours after TVJ intervened, they sent for a gurney for the man. We are talking about one of them bed where you stroll them in pan. And based on the information, it is said that the senior medical officer, we are speaking about a person whose name is Dr. Natalie Wiley. She claimed that nobody saw this man. People, what is the possibility or the likelihood that nobody saw this man? We are speaking about in 3 days. We are talking about employees. We are speaking about top management. We are talking about middle management. She claimed that she did not see him, or nobody mentioned anything. Nobody saw anything. People, it seems like they must be blind as a bat, because if at least 6 to 9 shifts basically passed since that man was out there and nobody saw anything. We are speaking about hundreds of employees and people. This man was right in their sight. I am speaking about right across the street from the gate of the hospital. We are talking about the main gate. So therefore somebody must have seen him. But this only shows you the type of person. Whenever them realize that something is wrong, instead of doing damage control, instead of basically making the situation better, they are going to lie. They are always going to pick up for each other. So therefore, that is why Jamaica is the way that it is, because we have people working in the medical field that basically has no heart, has no conscience, has no sensitivity, has no sort of human characteristics, point blank and period. And people, don't get it twisted, don't get it misconstrued. Even though she did offer some sort of assistance afterward, she said something that was very damning. She said that it is not the responsibility of the hospital, it is the responsibility of the government agency for basically take care of homeless. However, the point that I am trying to make is that if somebody is in dire situation, we are speaking about circumstances. In the case of this man, that he looked like he was going to basically pass away on the street in front of the middle of the hospital, we are talking about in front of the gate, and nobody assisted him. Isn't that some sort of human responsibility? Isn't that moral and ethically your responsibility? Even though it is not your job, it is the job of the government authority, based on what you are saying. However, she claimed that once it was brought to her attention, they basically moved on the situation very quickly. And people, like you see, like I said, they indeed came for him afterwards, but we are speaking about 3 days too late. Had it not been for the intervention of the residents and also TVJ, that man more than likely would have basically passed away in front of KPH. We are talking about Kingston Public, Hospital, point blank and period. So people, the moral of the story is that all we need is a little humanity, because we saw that in the case of Jody and Ferran, even though she was paying her hospital bill, because of panic, them basically threw her out, or she was refused at some other facility. And in this case, we are speaking about a homeless man. So we are speaking about a set of doctors. We are speaking about a system that is very insensitive, and all they are looking at, we are speaking about money, and all they are doing is basically prejudicing other persons, because them feel like this lady had the big C. And also in this case, this man was homeless, he was dirty, rete, blue, blah, blah. So therefore they refused to offer him some sort of medical assistance based just on that, point blank and period. So people, the moral of the stories in both cases, we see that Jody and Ferran, she did not meet the status quo. She was not uptown enough, and even though she paid several hundreds of thousands of Jamaican dollars, she still did not get the service that she deserved. She still did not get the service that all Jamaicans should get. And in the case of this homeless man, we see that he was looked down on because he was homeless, he was poor, he was basically the dregs of society. So people, we see that in Jamaica, if you have the money, if you're rich, if you're brown, everything is going to be okay. However, if you are poor and if you are from the garrison, more than likely they are going to look down on you. We are speaking about with some sort of twisted eyes. And we have to also wonder, in the case of this man, we are speaking about the homeless man, how did he get the strength to actually reach in front of public? We are talking about HOSPITAL, because the truth and the facts that he would not have been strong enough, based on the fact that when them find him, he was basically holding on to a string. He was basically holding on to their life. So anyways, people, the point that I am trying to make is that Jamaica needs a whole revamp. It needs a whole do-over. May I talk about the L system? May I talk about the classist system? May I talk about the prejudice system? May I talk about the stereotyping people system? May I talk about the justice system? May I talk about the popo? May I talk about the politician? It needs a total, we are speaking about do-over. Point blank and period, because everything is wrong and everything is in disarray. Everything is in a shambles. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.